Our world today is so interconnected, it is nearly impossible for even the smallest ruffle to go unheard thousands of miles away. This connects patterns between what is happening in one part of the world to another, allowing humans to share their experiences and learn about the experiences of others, enforcing a sense of commonality between all people. The Serpentine Gallery expertly allows Faith Ringgold to express her passions of protest and activism, as well as the traditional expressions of her culture in her exhibition in Hyde Park. The gallery welcomes everyone to see, interpret, and feel the experiences Ringgold had and her expressions of the topical issues of Black power and gender inequality from across the pond from her home in Harlem, New York. The entire display is an extremely timely social statement in a time of increased nationalism and racial division, and Ringgold was carefully chosen as the artist whose voice best echoes the times we are living in.
I remember when I was young and I would go into a gallery to show my work. The gallery dealer would look at my legs, but not my art.
Hidden in the center of Hyde Park, the Serpentine Gallery acts as a place of introspection, meditation, and consideration where one wanders through its rooms and experiences each piece as the artist intended and the curator consciously executed. One is meant to appreciate the works individually for their technical brilliance, as well as the themes and story that the works put together are attempting to tell. The gallery itself intrigues wanderers, bikers, and tourists to take a look inside, offering entrance free of charge. Its placement in the center of Hyde Park is very subtle, as one may accidentally overlook it. Rather, they are missing a powerful display that is a perfect depiction of how art contributes to the current conditions of the world, and which issues need to be broken down and better understood with context. You can also get a coffee and a wonderfully crumbly croissant under the installation at the adjoining cafe, which also really rocks. Outside presents the museum as small and historical, but your first steps inside change your mind. The white walls and bright white lights create an airiness and an openness that presents no distractions to the viewer. Giving the illusion of taller walls gives the gallery a spacey atmosphere that is then divided by strategically placed walls that allow you to access every room in any order, but intentionally and carefully guide you through a chronological, theme-based order based on the various series she created during her 50 years as an artist. Even by dividing the entire gallery up with walls, each of the smaller rooms acts as its own chapter to the story it is attempting to tell, giving space and air to the viewer to experience each piece individually and make discoveries as they go along and piece together the tale. The separate rooms vary in size and organization, and as you go through the gallery, the mediums of work change, but the works are strategically gathered together in compartments by theme or message, medium, and time period. Be it tapestries honoring various leaders and advocates of Black civil rights in the United States, paintings celebrating African American culture and women, or handcrafted quilts that burst with intricacy and color, and scripted with a personal story. At the end, works related to Ringgold's social and political activism later in her life hang on display. Varying sizes of each of the rooms present each work uniquely. In the foyer, Ringgold's most well-known piece is the first thing that catches the eye, directly in front of the doorway when you step inside. From the start, the viewer is forced to stop and look closely. The white walls, quiet pattering of feet, and small, well-lit room gives each person who steps through the doorway the opportunity to immediately pause and consider this work carefully. What is particularly insightful about the placement of this work is its actual hidden message, only seen with the complete turn of one's head. But this is what each of Ringgold's works need, a few moments of complete attention to notice the hidden nuances and messages she puts into each of her works, even if they aren't as explicit as the words white power. Just like the museum itself, the important messages Faith Ringgold attempts to say aren't always explicit and can be missed, walked away from with only a surface-level understanding if it is not properly analyzed. Even the curious and confused unintentional tilt of one's head gives a deeper perspective of the piece. One might even find the hidden message. That particular piece encapsulates Ringgold's major themes and the job she takes on as an artist, a social activist through a creative media.
But not me. The museum will open up to African American artists, but you won't be one of them because you're a woman. Okay, I got it. Well.
Stepping into the largest room in the gallery, the viewer is wrapped up as if in a warm quilt. Alluding to the cultural significance quilting had for slaves, the main pieces each take a wall for themselves, each given subtle bit of context to the side. A bench in front of her tar beach quilt allows for the viewer to take an even longer moment to look at the massive piece and see each of the careful details and reading the story that frames it. Paired with a copy of the book the quilt inspired, it was obvious that those who recognized the story and even remember being told it in their childhood encouraged many to take a longer look and feel deeply the nostalgia, the magic, and the wonder of being a child. And the only thing on the wall, the art is all there is for the viewer to consider in that moment, its scale engulfing one's whole vision. It is meant to be interpreted and appreciated on its own, so it stands alone. On the other hand, pieces like the Buddhist-inspired tankas and protest posters are placed closer together, allowing for no breath to be taken between them. They are meant for the audience to see all together and consider how their proximity adds to the message that is attempting to be conveyed. Works that share a wall tend to take a breath in between, taking enough space in order to stand on their own. Even though her children's book, Tar Beach, may have brought you into the gallery, one leaves with a very adult understanding of who Ringgold is as an artist and why she creates. By intriguing you and bringing you in with her most well-known work, the gallery goes on to expertly tell a narrative of her growth and experience as an artist. This is what the gallery does so well. The Serpentine Gallery provides a quiet oasis of thought and consideration of a world issue that reaches farther than the United States. It gives Faith Ringgold her due time in the spotlight and on the soapbox. To tell the world what she wants the world to know about the experiences as a Harlem resident, as an American woman, and as a Black American, and how her message from the 1980s still remains relevant in a very divided world.
Memorial Church in 19